Nation of Fit in 10, it is day 50, and we got 20 days to go, obviously. Yeah, you can still make some good change because we still have essentially 30% of the challenge to go, almost a third. We wrapped up the scans today, and they were good. There were some that were surprising, some that were really good. Some people that, it happens sometimes. People do really well in the beginning, and they don't do so well in the middle. We get all kinds of people that don't do well in the beginning, do better in the middle, and so on and so forth. And I've had people do this challenge, multiple times. I think I probably told you I've had one person do this challenge. They did the challenge. It was either 3 or 4 times. I believe it was 4, and they did terrible their first 3 times, like terrible. And then the 4th one, they won the whole thing. They ended up losing 38% of their fat mass. So, anyways, some things take time. Most things take a lot of time. Never said this challenge was easy. In fact, I will say it's really, really hard unless you're used to this type of thing, which is not a lot of people. All right, let's get to your questions here. So the question, yesterday I read this. I'll read it again here. Why is it not showing up here? Okay, what should we expect and plan for after the challenge? Would you recommend we continue eating similar macros in the long run? Okay, so before I go into this, I want to just say one thing. When it comes to fat loss, let's forget about muscle here, okay? When we're trying to lose fat loss, really all you have to do is follow an exercise program with a specific amount of exercise per week that you adhere to, and then set yourself up with a certain amount of energy intake that you adhere to. And then be consistent with that over a couple weeks, or let's say 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks is reasonable, 21 days. And see what kind of change you make. And if you're happy with it, I mean, obviously you're setting yourself up with this so that you have a reasonable structure to make some progress, okay? i.e., there's some level of knowledge and experience in this, obviously, okay? So you got yourself set up, you run through it for the 3 weeks, being consistent, of course, or else you can't measure the effectiveness of it. And then gauge your results after that. And based off of your results, you either keep going with it, or maybe you increase your energy expenditure either by, or increase the difference in energy balance either by increasing or decreasing your exercise, or decreasing your calories, or whatever. Okay, so for example, you didn't lose enough, let's just say. You weren't happy with it, you only lost a pound, you expected to lose 3 pounds. Okay, let's adjust your diet, or let's drop down your calories a little bit. But that's all it is. That is the essence of fat loss. This is what we do for physique competition. We follow a specified program, we follow a diet, and it's all about relative change. The secrecy and all this is just to be consistent. If you're not consistent, you can't judge the effectiveness of the in this case, as an example, the 3 weeks that she did, because you didn't follow it. So you can't you can't scrutinize something that you didn't follow, right? You can't take directions from point A to point B and then say all the directions didn't work if you're not following the directions. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. But that's all it is, and that's the secret behind all of this. There really is no secret. Okay, so why am I telling you this? I'm just trying to give you an overview of a picture, but I will tell you specifically what you're supposed to do after the challenge, okay? And specifically, the specificity, goes like this. You're gonna fall into one of 2 groups. If you lost 20% or more in this challenge, you're going to back out of your macros. So you're gonna start at week 10, you're gonna follow it for 3 weeks, and then you're gonna go to week 9, you're gonna follow it for 3 weeks, you can go to week 8, follow it for 3, and just keep going. You're gonna back out, slowly increasing your calories. That's what I recommend you do. Unless you wanna stay at week 10 and just ride it out a little bit more and see how much more you can get. You can do that too, and then start your regression. Okay, you could do that. For those of you who didn't meet that 20% mark, okay, so you got under 20%. You're gonna go to week 5, and you're gonna follow week 5 for 3 weeks, and then you're gonna go to week 6. You're gonna follow that for 3 weeks. You can go to week 7 and follow that for 3 weeks. So you got 18 weeks right there. You got week 5 to week 10, which is 6 weeks. Okay, 5 to 10 inclusive. You got 6 periods there. So you got 18 weeks of plan to follow. Okay, so that's basically it. That's what you're gonna do. All right, and this will be on paper for you, and obviously I'll explain it a little more detail than that. I've got some step recommendations, all that good stuff in the exit strategy. But ultimately, just to give you a big picture, I realize that there are a lot of people. I'm not speaking to one person here, or 2 or 3. I'm actually speaking to the majority, probably all of you, or virtually all of you. I've had the odd person tell me they love measuring their food. Good for you. Kudos to hear. You are definitely in the minority. A lot of you want to just go about eyeballing, don't want to have to go through your life measuring. That's fine. It's just that you have to know that if you don't know exactly what you're doing, you cannot be guaranteed of anything at the end, right? So this is why I'm a big proponent of being very specific about what we're doing. Being very specific, because if you know exactly what you're doing, then you know exactly where to go based on the results. It's that simple. If you start to do this, I don't know what to tell you, right? So, and listen, a lot of people do this challenge just for the 10 weeks and then that's it. They don't care afterwards, and that's totally fine too, right? I'm speaking to those of you out there who want to keep going with this, okay? The more stringent you can be, the greater a likelihood you'll get you'll attain what you're trying to attain at the end, okay? It may take you a little bit longer than you wanted, or maybe not, right? But at least you know where you stand on the map of going from point A to point B, okay? All right, so I hope that answers your question, by the way. How am I doing here? 7.5 minutes. I feel like I could have answered that a little bit more succinct. Anyways, let's get to the message of the day on this day 50. Compare what you want with that of what you actually do. And this is a tough one. This is why I get you to, write everything down, to journal day in, day out. And, if you're bamboozled by why you didn't get to where you think you should be, the first thing I always do is look at your diet more than anything, because that is the first place we'll go to. That is the one that is the everyday thing all day long, pretty much. And so if you're still bamboozled, you can send me your journal. Actually, you could, obviously going forward, you can send me copies of your journal. You could share your journal with me. I'll go in it and I'll take a look through all the days. But I will tell you, and this is just from my own experience, I'm not with you. I certainly don't know exactly what you're doing. But I can just tell you from experience that more often than not, it's a diet issue. And you're not going to plateau in this challenge, okay? As much as some people had mentioned that they have plateaued in the challenge. No, you've not plateaued in the challenge. We've made way too many changes. We are decreasing things over time. It's way too short a period of time to plateau. It doesn't happen. Plateau takes time. So you really just have to look at what you're doing. Compare what you do. And the only way you know what you're doing is if you note it every day. If you compare what you're doing with your memory, no, you're just fooling yourself. You're just fooling yourself. Compare what you want with that of what you actually do, right? Okay, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I will talk to you all very soon. See you guys.